Hello back everyone. So throughout this session we're gonna discuss about method inside an object. Here is it. This object it only have some properties, which is basically name, Darwish, age, theory. What about if we're gonna add some methods to this object? How can we do that? Yes, it's very easy. We just take here some space. We're gonna say this person gonna walk, for example. And this method just do nothing, just console.log. Here is it walking. All right, so this is a method inside an object. All right, we need to define another method, but this method we need to have two methods inside each other. For example, after that we will have here some space, and I will say I would like to retrieve some information about any person inside my object. For example, get information. And inside this get information method, I will define another function. For example, I will name it, here is it, I will say function. I will name it print info. I would like to print some information. Perfect. And look at that. Here is it. How can I print for example, your name? Here is it. I will say console.log, and to access your name, I have to put the object name, which is basically obj. So it will be like that, dot name. So I can print out your name. It will be like that, obj.name, obj.age. So we're gonna do the same as well with age. Here is that. That's perfect. All right. And to call out this method, here is that we're gonna say what? Here is that my obj object name dot the name of the method, which is basically have a name get info. So I will say get info, and like that. Here is it. It didn't print anything because we forget what? We forget to call this method. So we have to take this method as a copy and just call it here inside our object. And look at that. Here is the Darwish, here is the theory. Look at that. How can we do that? By saying obj.getInfo. This one, it go to the object, okay, this object, and search for a method called getInfo. Here is it, getInfo. And inside this one, we are defining and calling the method. So here is it, the definition of the method. After that, we are calling it. All right, so that's basically everything about method inside an object. No, not yet. We got also some points. Here is it. What about in any case you need to change the name of the object? For example, I will say object2. Guess what? It's gonna give you an error because you have to do what? You have as well, it changes the calling of that object, because right now you are telling him go to object2 and go to this method get info and print out everything from there, name and age. Hey, but why still giving you unquote reference error? Yes, because as well you have to go to each print out and it change it. Here is that object, it will be object2, and as well object, it will be object2. So you have to rechange every part inside your displaying, so it will give you, hey, this Darwish and theory. Awesome. Do we have any solution for that? Yes. JavaScript introduced for us something called this. So what about if you say this? As well, what about if you say this here? What's gonna happen? Oh, look at that. He told you this is something called code bin. What's a code bin? The name of the website which we are using it as an editor. What's that, Darwish? What that means? I'm gonna tell you. That's basically, this dot name. He went to the window, to that browser, and provide you the name of the website which we right now editing. And once you are telling him go bring for me this dot name, he give you the name of the website, code bin, or any other things. But what about if you're gonna give him the window, this called window of your browser dot age? There is nothing. There is no property inside window called age. That's why he telling you undefined. So hey Darwish, how can we bring those property? I'm talking here about my object property, not about window property. I'm not talking about browser right now as well. I'm gonna tell you right now. Listen, here is that we have something called it that. We got something called it that. So to take the point of that, we're gonna define here a variable called it that, and this one will equal this. We're gonna name it something like we are referring to that property, and all you have to do is change that part from this, so it will be that, as well the age from this, it will be that. Look at that magic. Right now it's working. Look at that. Here is it, Darwish, and here is it, 30. So right now, this, kind of, dynamic way, because if you change the name of object for the third time to be object 3 as well, you're gonna definitely change the calling for that one. Yeah, it's working. Darwish and 30. So no need to rechange your displaying. Maybe you got 100 displaying, so you're gonna change all of them. It doesn't make sense. You just have to change the name of object and the calling. That's it. No need to go inside the code and change everything inside. So this, basically how you're gonna deal with method inside an object. Thank you for watching and see you in next video. Keep coding.